All right, let's use bar models to solve these ratio problems. So in this case here, a crate of cell phones has red and silver models in a ratio of 2 to 7. There are 300 more silver phones than red ones. A, draw a bar model to represent the situation. B, how many cell phones are in the crate? And C, how many of the cell phones are red? All right, let's try it. All right, when using bar models, what we're going to do is we're going to use squares, and we're going to set up the squares in the same ratio that we're given. So in this case here, it's the ratio of red to silver model phones in a ratio of 2 to 7. So I represented the red with 2 red squares, and then the silver models with 7 silver squares. So when using bar models, what we want to do is we want to figure out what each one of the squares is worth value-wise. So we can see in the ratio that we have 5 extra silver squares because of the ratio 2 to 7, and we have 300 more silver phones. So that means that if we take 300 and we divide it by the 5 extra squares, we get 300 divided by 5, which is 60. So that means that each one of these squares is 60 cell phones. So that means that we have 60 times 9 squares, so we have 540 cell phones total. Part C, how many of the cell phones are red? So we can see we have 2 red squares here, 60 plus 60, so we have 120 red cell phones. Mark and Mary shared a sum of money in a ratio of 2 to 5. Then Mary gave 1/5 of her money to Mark. Now Mary has $30 more than Mark. What is the total sum of money? All right, to set this up, what we're going to do is we're going to set up our bar model with a ratio of 2 to 5. I'm going to use green to represent Mark and blue to represent Mary. So we set up 2 green squares and 5 blue squares. So it says in the problem that Mary gave 1/5 of her money to Mark. Now Mary has $30 more than Mark. So Mary has 5 squares, so she gave 1/5 of her squares to Mark. So that means that Mark now has 1 of her blue squares and Mary has 1 less blue square. So that means that if Mary has $30 more than Mark, Mary has 1 extra square than Mark, so that means each square has to be worth $30. So we have 7 total squares between Mary and Mark, so 30 times 7 is $210. All right, so I hope that helped explaining ratio bars. Thanks for watching my video. Please like and subscribe.